That's it. See it goes. If it doesn't go, then. So, okay, listen, we have to have an agreement. All the young guys, except this is like a little baby like there. But all you young guys, you got to sit down and you got to just chill out. Understand what I said? Okay? If you need to go someplace, because you just can't sit, it's okay. But you got to leave like easy, no noise, running around, because we have an operation we're doing here. You follow me? Like in the hospital, they don't have nobody running around where they cutting people open and operating, and nobody's running around. Why? Why? Because it would disturb the doctors and everything, and something could happen, right? What we're doing here is just like that. Okay, guys? Matter of fact, you like money? You guys like money, right? Don't you? You don't need? Okay, I was going to try to bribe you. So, okay. So, alhamdulillah, wa salatu wa salam ala rasulullah. My sisters and brothers, I thank you, sister, for that compliment. You know, it's like, you know, subhanallah. Sometimes Allah, He gives you something that you give away or that you share. And then Allah, He gives you something. Akhi, you got to take the ball outside the masjid. Because this is not mal'ab. You know, you can't do that. You don't have to go outside, but you got to put the ball out. That's it. Okay. So, you know, I grew up with kids. Always classes with children. So, me, I know you can't tell children to keep quiet. You can't. If you bring them to the mosque, fathers and mothers is responsible. This is the operating room, right? Every place got its way. The kids, we love them more than everybody. We do everything for them, for their future. But when we operating, what do we have to do? We got to put all the liabilities. They will harm themselves under check. Anyway, if you guys hang out, we got something for you. Now, my sister who said what she said, I thank Allah for that, because sometimes, again, when we share something which we feel an obligation to do, or even we like to do it, the way Allah gives it back to you is not the way you expect it. It comes just like that. I didn't know the sister. She didn't know me personally. We know each other through the work, it's like Bluetooth. You know, we don't even know the other person on the other end. But we're being serviced, right? Every single day. So how Allah, He did this. This is the ayah of the Quran I want to share with you that gives me, myself, perspective about the struggle. The ayah is أعوذ بالله من الشيطان الرجيم وَمَا يَتَّقِ اللَّهِ يَجْعَلْ لَهُ مَخْرَجًا وَيَرْزُقُهُ مِنْ حَيْثُ لا يحتسب ومن يتوكل على الله فهو الله أكبر إن الله بالغ الأمر, right? Allah, He gonna accomplish what He wants. And if you have some taqwa, He didn't say big taqwa. You don't have to be like muttaqeen, like, you know, really clear that everyone can see. There's people like that, but you don't have to. Allah doesn't need that from you. Just the person that when they find themselves going astray to some degree, they snap back and say, oh Allah, forgive me for that. Allah, He loved that. The person who do things on a regular basis to keep Allah in their mind, this is taqwa. Person who goes to the edge and they look down and it's like 500 feet drop and they step back. This is taqwa. So taqwa is not like high religious consciousness. It is that you always, something that you see or that you think about reminds you of Allah. This is taqwa. So He said, وَمَن يَتَقِ اللَّهِ, whoever has taqwa, whatever measure, because Allah, he can measure taqwa just like the police can measure your speed. You don't even see the police, right? Or now they don't even need the police. They got cameras now, right? You don't even see it. And your phone, you thinking that your phone is going to tell you there's a speed trap in the front. They already got an override on your phone. So they letting you go and you don't get the warning, right? Because they did an override in that area. You know what I'm talking about, the technicians, right? So you zooming through there expecting that it's going to tell you speed trap. You don't get no warning. Bam, now you in court with $250. So Allah, he has his way of knowing the speed and how his servant is moving and what's in the hearts and in the minds. And what Allah, he loves is for you to be human, thank him, ask him for forgiveness, and keep him in mind. This is taqwa. وَمَنْ يَتَقِ اللَّهِ. So whoever does that, Allah promises, يَجَعَلْ لَهُ, I will give to them makhraj. What's a makhraj? A way out. Explain it more. A door. What else? An opportunity. What else?
An opening.
A solution. What else?
An opening.
An opening. What else? You just keep going. This is one of the words that's so powerful. It is so powerful. If you're in some situation, some set of circumstances, maybe they put you in a monkey cage, you know what I'm saying, and dropped you in a ditch. You know, you can't stand up, nothing, you bounding, everything. So you're thinking to yourself that you will die, but you cry out and somebody hear it. Somebody hears you. You don't know, they're not even supposed to be there, riding a bike or something. And you get out of there. How do you think now? Who saved you? The person who was on the bike that found you? No. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, he heard his servant, Dhunnun. No, not Dhunnun. Yeah. Yeah. Sahib al-Hud. Yeah, that's what he's called. Allah, he heard him say, La ilaha illa ant subhanaka inni kuntu min adh-dhalimin. He blamed himself, right? Allah, he loved him. This is his prophet, but somehow he realized that he did something wrong. For this bala, for this situation, for this circumstance to happen to him, that he was thrown in the ocean, swallowed by a fish because he thought he was in the qabr first. He was thinking that he was dead. He's in the qabr. So he was reaching out and he felt slime, you know, stuff, and his body was burning from the acid. And he figured it out. I'm inside the whale because the ocean doesn't burn you, right? And it doesn't have something where so he figured out, so then he could curse the whale. If it's me, I'd curse the whale. I said, maybe I curse the boat or the ocean or something by something, but he's a prophet. He cannot do that, right? So what he said? La ilaha. There is no God but you, Allah. Subhanaka, glory to you. Inni, definitely, kuntu min adh-dhalimin. I did something wrong. I was wrong to myself. He blamed himself, not Allah. He blamed nobody. Our problem, we always blaming somebody else to get out of something. But in this case, he's in the belly of the whale. Usually when the whale swallows a mammal, right? A mammal. How he have to digest that? He swallow a whole man? How long it take him to digest a whole man? 2-3 days, right? He got to go to submerge, go down and rest. He got a whole man inside of himself. He got to go down and rest. Then he got to come back and breathe. Then he got to go back down and rest and come back up and breathe because he's a mammal. He got to breathe. That's the normal process. But after the whale, who's a mammal, who can hear, when he heard that dua from that prophet, instead of his going down and digest, he swam straight to the shore just like that. What whale do that? He just swam straight to the shore and like that. And Yunus, he come out, right? And when he come out, the slime from the well created a covering for him. You know, like when the baby comes out of the mother, it's in that sack, and they got to clean the baby off. What? It was like Allah calls it in the Quran something like between that and the plant that he he crawled under there. Something like it formed over him like a pumpkin, something like a gourd, they call it. You know, like a plant. It's something. It did not work. No problem. I will use it for myself. Anyway, Allah gave him a protective covering until he was healed from the burns of the acid and all of that. And he never complained. He blamed himself. And Allah gave him a makhraj. You see that? See how the Quran? Then besides the one who fears Allah, not only they get makhraj, وَيَرْزُقُهُ مِنْ حَيْثُ. What this means? وَيَرْزُقُهُ, and Allah will give them a provision. مِنْ حَيْثُ, from a place لَا يَحْتَسِبْ, you could never have imagined. Say Allahu Akbar. This is a great lesson. The qasas of the Quran, very great lessons. Now, brothers and sisters, yeah, this is like, okay, the technology is not so good. It's not user friendly, you know what I mean? Anyway, alhamdulillah. So, what I really would like to talk to you about is the other side of the internal religious experience. I want to talk about the other side. Because all of us, we know the inside. The inside is the masjid. You know, wudu, you know, we have to prepare ourselves. You know, Ramadan, it's okay. It's Ramadan, the 5 prayers, reading Quran, our children memorizing, us. I mean, we know the masjid backwards and forwards. If we grew up in the masjid, it's okay, don't worry. It's okay, yeah, it's good. So we know the masjid. You don't have to spend a year in the masjid to know it. It's just a building. It serves us. We built it. We paid for it. We come here on a regular basis. We know that side of it. This is the comfort side of Islam. What side? Come on, you got roof? Forget about what's plugged into the roof. You got the roof? That means ain't no sunlight bothering nobody in here. It's raining outside. We're not getting wet. We're comfortable. We're nice. And it's good. There's nothing wrong with that. To have the best masjid is good. To have a good home is good. But that's the soft side of Islam and life. Is it? It's halal for me to live in a 7-star hotel. I did that. Somebody gave me I'll tell you a story. Just so you know, I'm not like a dunya sheikh or bling bling guy. But if it happened like that, I'm gonna enjoy it. So I was in Dubai and I performed a marriage for a friend of mine, right? Because I do that, you know, like if for somebody say, hey, you know, my mom and dad, they don't want to get us married, and you know, we going on a boat trip anyway. So I said, hold up, Aki. You guys as adults, both of you guys, let me see, can I call your father? So I do another thing. I just find out, make sure the dad know what's going on. He the wali. Give me the surrogate. What do you call it? He make me his surrogate. And he say, okay, moms can have an attitude, a latitude, longitude. She can have a gratitude. Don't make me no difference. Because if the wali said, all right, all she can do is have an attitude, right? So I get the wali, he said, all right. I say, then I tell the brother, okay, how much you want? I said, I'm the wali now. I'm acting for the wali. He said, I'm going to give the sister 5. No, you don't say what you give. And I'm doing the marriage too. If you guys agreed to 5, it's 10 now. Because I'm doing the marriage and you just got to count me in, count Pops in too. You know how it go. He said, okay, Sheikh, no problem. So I got his part. We did the marriage in the what's the name of that? Buruj Al Arab. Yeah. You talking about a hotel. Man, he flew me in on the heliport. I could tell you, maybe I shouldn't tell the story in the masjid. Anyway, we did the marriage and everything, and the brother says to me, Sheikh, me and my wife, we leaving, going to Thailand. We flying out tonight. He says, but Sheikh, everything is set, and it's 3 days you got, you and your wife. I said, I was thinking to myself, what? And what am I going to do here? And my wife, she's from Uzbekistan. She said, honey, don't worry. I'm telling you, from the service, I was embarrassed. I'd be honest. When I think about it, I didn't do nothing. There was nothing wrong, but I was just embarrassed. I had never been served like that before. And sometimes I felt like, it's crazy. Like, what am I doing here? I shouldn't even tell the story. But Allah, He doesn't care about that. If He wants you to enjoy that, He wants you to enjoy that. The point here that I really want to talk with you about is the other side of the masjid. And that is this space, which is 100 times the size of the footprint of this masjid. I don't know what the footprint is, but just looking around and the sister side, from over here, you got somewhere I see over there, parking lot and some other space around there. So let's just say the building area maybe is 10,000 square feet. I don't know, 7,000, whatever it is. But whatever it is, not the parking lot, but the building, measure that 100 times. Multiply that, what would it be? If it's 7,000 square feet, what would it be? 700,000 square feet, right? That's your stamp. That's your footprint of social responsibility. There's a few different variables that they put into that formula, including the tax base and all kinds of stuff, right? So the engineers, when they come out and estimate responsibility, easements, some of you guys do this kind of work, right? When they look at easements and property lines and the tax base and what you contribute because you're not-for-profit or you this or that, there's a formula that they use, and part of that formula is like, because I work for a property office, part of that formula is 100 times the size of your actual place. So the footprint, the social footprint, in terms of the responsibility that we have, is 100 times this size. How far would that be? How far would that be to this way and that way and that way? These are your neighbors who you're responsible for, who you're supposed to know, who you're supposed to interact with, who you're supposed to serve, who you're supposed to talk to, who you're supposed to explain, and you're supposed to help relieve their sufferings. You're supposed to ask them about how they feel. You're supposed to have facilities and options for them to come to your school without being Muslim, to come get your help without you talking to them about Islam. Muslims ain't gonna give nobody nothing. First you gotta give them a pamphlet. You gotta bring them here and give them dinner and then give them some, hey, I wanna talk to you about Allah. You Christian, what kind of Christian you are? You got some Dr. Zakir Naik stuff you wanna give them and all that? We ain't got no right to do that. We're supposed to give people food not because they're gonna become Muslims or because we get a chance to talk to them about Muslims. You're giving it to them because they're hungry. And you're giving it to them because they're your neighbors. Another thing about the other side. Did you brothers and sisters know that we're supposed to collect the Zakat al-Fitr? You know Zakat al-Fitr, right? Huh? I ain't talking about the fiqh. I know y'all probably got a mufti here or two muftis or so. Because muftis now you can get them from all over the world. Good muftis. You can bring them. So all the Muslims think there's mufti. So look, I'm not trying to get involved with the politics or the fiqh or nothing. I just want to make a statement here to make it clear. If there's 1,000 people who's paying Zakat al-Fitr, this is not Zakat al-Mal, right? Right? Not Zakat al-Mal, Zakat al-Fitr. And the Zakat al-Fitr is supposed to be calculated and paid before the Salah. Do you know that? Before the Salah. What's the wisdom of that? So after you finish the prayer and all of that, and you start enjoying, you should have already given the money to the people, you understand me, so they can enjoy with you. The Muslims not doing that. The Muslims still collecting Zakat al-Fitr after the prayer. What kind of foolishness is that? Where we get that from? We already eating and enjoying in another people's group of country. We got people who's outside looking. They already notice our Eid. Why they not celebrating with us? Why the tables is not set up and they done been given their food and their whatever it is and some money before we pray? Then they would see that our prayer and our worship will not begin until we have given them their rights. Do you understand that? Do you understand the wisdom of it now? And then we're talking about, oh no, we can't give them money. We got to give them flour. We got to give them dates. We got to give them raisins. We got to give them some wheat and barley. Come on, you smoking something? Ain't nobody eating no wheat and barley, no corn, no. What are you talking about? Give the people what they want and let them go eat. Give them a gift card if that's what you want to do, where they can go eat. If you worried about them taking the money and buying a spliff, say, I don't know if I want to give the people money because, if you give them money, they're going to go buy some drugs. What are you talking about? That's not my business. Give to each of the people and don't make no requirement of them. When you give, you get the reward from Allah, even if they did something like that. But they didn't ask you for alcohol. They didn't ask you for drugs. They didn't ask you, they asked you that even if they're lying, it's okay, that's between them and God. Give them. And give them first. Give them when? First. They got a hawk on you. So first I'm going to talk about this issue, the outside. Those are our neighbors. If you really want to do dawah, don't give out pamphlets. Don't do that. We did that for 30 years. And I'm not ashamed of it, but that was the level of our understanding. Now with the Muslims now, pamphlets is out. That's the last thing you want to do, going around the neighborhoods, putting stuff in people's, that's like, what they call that kind of mail? They say they're calling up the city council and saying, these guys wearing these rags on their head and, I don't know, these camel jockey dudes or these, I don't know who they're, Hindus or what they doing. They walking around and putting something inside they don't have no right to do that. And it's right, you can't do that. Do you know that? That's spam mail, right? Even on the internet, you're not allowed to be sending spam mail, right? But Muslims are spamming. We call it dawah. We can't be spamming. No, you give people what they ask for. And you explain Islam to them through you. You don't drink, you don't drug, you're not violent, you don't curse, you don't get angry, you don't insult people, you have respect for your grandmother, and the lady who's non-Muslim, you got same respect for her, because they in the same place, they be walking together, and they find out, oh, this lady, you walk over to her and you kissed your mother, and you kiss her too. She's like, oh, that's very nice. Oh, the Muslim, yeah, they have to do that. If we friends, they got to kiss you and me too. Muslims don't do that. Muslims always walk in some place and see a Muslim, oh, Assalamu alaikum, Robert, Kev, and here's all these people, he said nothing to them. It's not allowed. The other side, always when you spend something, when you do something, when you're making sajda, when you're making wudu, whatever you're doing, think about the other side. What's the other side? Huh? The neighbors. The Prophet said, Wallahi, you're not a Muslim. He said, Wallahi, you're not a believer. La yu'min. Who goes to sleep at night and not concerned whether or not the neighbors they ate. How many of you went to sleep last night? Be honest. I'm not asking you to raise your hands. I don't want to embarrass nobody. How many of you, before you went to sleep last night with a full stomach, more than you should have ate, you thought about the neighbors? This is Ramadan. If you don't think about the neighbors in Ramadan, come on. So don't make it appear like we all pious because we get ready to eat some dates and drink some milk, and then, like after we eat the dates and the milk and some, maybe some corn fritters and this and that and some nice little fruit cups and this and that. We just done. You don't even need a meal. But we're going to have that meal. Even though we don't need it. Is right? Okay, listen to this sunnah. I'm not trying to change nobody's lifestyle or what people do, but let me give you this sunnah. Because the Prophet, he said, whoever do one sunnah, they also killing what? One bid'ah. you do one sunnah, you kill what? One bid'ah. Okay, so the sunnah of the Prophet, he said this. We are a people who do not eat until we are hungry. And we are a people who do not continue eating until we are full. Say Allahu Akbar. So now we breaking that rule. We used to say, Ahlan, ya Habibi, Ahlan. Faddal, Faddal. No, go ahead. Bismillah, Yalla. We got nice, it sound good. Faddal, Yalla. Don't worry about the tongue and don't worry about the stomach, man. Just eat. Yalla, tashrab, Habibi. You want tea, you want coffee, you want juice, you want this, you want, what else you want? You want to take some with you? You know, stack it up, and next thing you know, you all stacked up. You already know you blew the sunnah, right? The sunnah's gone. Even the sunnah fasting, the reason for fasting, your connection with the poor people is gone. The first day of Jummah is gone if you follow the culture. I ain't saying nobody's culture is bad, because the homeboys, we do something like that too. We just having, you know, we got sweet potato pie, we got macaroni and cheese, we got chicken, we got fish, you know, we got yams, we got collard greens. You know, we got some stuff that y'all just don't know. We throw our stuff out there, you be sitting and say, whoa, yeah, they got some stuff too, it's a little different. So we be going off too, cross town, whatever, doing the same stuff, because we learn from other people to put all the food out there for your guests, eat, everybody, get kids, eat, and then after you eat, don't even worry about the plates and how to put things in garbage and washing and all that. Just yalla, bismillah, time for prayer. Allahu Akbar, Allahu Akbar, shadu la ilaha illallah. Shoes is over there, plates are all over the place, and we bowing down, oh Allah, yallah, bismillah. Come on, Allah ain't answering no prayers like that. You overeating? You put your shoes in places where they ain't supposed to be at in the doorway? You left the stuff all on the table, didn't clean it. You in a hotel, 40,000 Muslims is in a hotel at a conference, and they all left the food on the table? And you can imagine how many shoes is on the floor? You at the top, there, cleaning, and you looking down at the Muslims, they all praying and bowing down and all that in the bathrooms. You know how they look. Am I telling the truth or not? 10,000 Muslims in the conference. And they all go make wudu and all that, and they come out, the toilet paper's all the way out in the lobby. I mean, water is all over the sinks and the mirrors and everything. Everybody got feet inside the sink. I mean, you putting your feet in the sink of a public hotel? Are you crazy? That ain't required in Islam. You can't go to a Christian country and put your feet in the sink. They call it a face bowl. Did they call it that here in America? Did you know that? They call it sink. A what bowl? Say what? Face bowl. That's what they call it in America. I don't care what country, what hill you came backwards, came over here. You got Islam, you be all that. You can't do that. And my mother put out my friends, 9 of them. We was new Muslims, and she loved us. One day, brother Umar, he was beautiful brother. He's dead now. Ghafarallahu lah. She gave us the sheets and everything. Y'all go pray, Khalid, go pray. I got the sheets and everything for you. I said, thank you, Mom. And so we was putting the sheets out, and he had his feet in my mother's kitchen sink. She cursed us out. I mean, really? I'm talking about really, you know, like, you know, home girl, curse out. She cursed me out. I said, Mother, come on, Mother, we must. She said, look, you get out too. And she cursed us while we was walking down the street. This nigga's crazy. He put his feet in my sink where I cook, where I fix my collard greens. Is he crazy? Don't come back here no more. So I realized there that we have to be very wise about doing things that we consider to be the sunnah, right? Because there's another way we could wash our feet without putting them inside the sink, inside the hotel, or in my mother's sink. We got to figure out how to spray the bottle or wipe it over something. So this talk I'm talking to you about is about the other side, thinking about the neighbors, having good behavior, being consistent, being orderly, being clean, being sensitive, being generous, leaving culture away, meaning that as much as possible, do not exercise culture with Islam. Did you guys understand what I just said? Because culture is not binding on anybody. Is that right? And maybe your culture might be a bit intrusive. Your culture might be a bit like it's difficult for me. So tone the culture down. What does that mean? Bring the Islam up, the behavior, and do what? Tone the culture down. Arab culture? Sorry, guys. Asian culture? Sorry. Yeah, and the Africans too. Tone it down. I don't care if you're from the hills of whatever. You know, you from the back, way up there, y'all traditions go all the way back. One day I was sitting with a brother, and he said, my father was, he traced him back to the Prophet ﷺ. I don't know if it was true, I didn't check it, but I don't believe that. And if it was, it didn't make no difference to me. I told him, listen, Abu Lahab was the uncle of the Prophet ﷺ. Would you like to be a relative of Abu Lahab? So don't be impressed by nobody's culture. What we need is good from the culture is Islam. Whatever good is in my culture, your culture is what? Islam is good. Allah says in the Quran, وَأَحْسِنُوا إِنَّ اللَّهَ يُحِبُّ الْمُحْسِنِينَ. What did he say? What did he say? وَأَحْسِنُوا إِنَّ اللَّهَ يُحِبُّ الْمُحْسِنِينَ. What do you mean by أَحْسِنُوا in this ayah? No. It could mean that, but in the context of the ayah, there's a meaning. وَأَحْسِنُوا. Allah is telling you to be something. What did he call the Anbiya? He called them Muhsineen, right? He called the Anbiya. When he's talking about them, barely they was from the Muhsineen. Here, what does Muhsineen mean? It don't mean like the ayah said, like the hadith said, the hadith of Jibreel, you know, that you worship Allah as if you see him, although you don't see him, you know that he sees you. That's not the ihsan that we're talking here. The ihsan is the one Allah says, إِنَّ اللَّهَ يَأْمُرُ بِالْعَدْلِ وَالْإِحْسَانِ وَإِيتَاءِ ذِي الْقُرْبَى وَيَنْهَى عَنِ الْفَحْشَاءِ وَالْمُنكَرِ وَالْبَغْيِ. This is a different ihsan. What's the meaning of that one? Doing good. What's another word for it? Benevolence. Say the word. Look up that word. To be benevolent, that is having wealth, right? Having resources and being more than generous. Being what? Benevolent. You sponsor it. You just say, me and my family, we just sponsor that. We're going to build an orphanage. That's benevolence. We're going to build a hospital. That's benevolence. We're going to cover the street for this town. We're going to dig a well. Something that has an impact upon the human beings, any human beings, and even when you do it for the animals. It's still what? Inna Allah ya'muru, he order you upon what? Inna Allah ya'muru bil adl, social justice, and what? Ihsan. That's on the other side. That's not what happens in the mosque. Benevolence is outside. Let your iman, let your identity, let your Islam be seen, understood, felt, not heard. Because today, you can't beat Microsoft in talking and sending digital stuff. You can't beat them. So you could do all you want. Your dawah has to be what? You know, social media can facilitate things for us, no doubt. Communications and things and marketing. But guess what? In terms of convincing people about Allah, in terms of convincing people to be a good Muslim, a good human being, social media doesn't teach that. It can only do what? Facilitate it. What it can do? That's it. So if you're using social media and you're not making no money, halal, I'm talking about money, you're not making no halal money using social media, how you paying your bill? Or maybe your dad or your mom is paying just because they like you and they bought that $1,000 phone for you that you should probably work for at least 2 years for. So if we're not using social media to do khair, what are we using it for? We're just using it for ourselves. It's halal, but that's selfish, isn't it? It's selfish. We could use social media that every young person in this room that's 12 years old can be making $100 a week, right now. Or I mean, maybe say 30 days. While they're in junior high school, with the technology, young kids can make $100 a week, never have to leave the house, and they're learning how to make, and they business. And guess what? Maybe by the time they do it for 4 years, they don't even want to go to college. They don't need to. They got more money than you. That's where technology is driving us today. But if we're not thinking like that, Our children not going to be that. Our children is going to work for somebody else, and then somebody else is going to reward them after 50, 40 years. Which one you want? Which one? You want your children to go to work, PhD, Masters, MMM, whatever you want to call it, technician, whatever it is, and they're working for the government or Microsoft or some other big entity for 20 years, 30 years, and they ain't got no time for nothing because now they're making money, they got to keep making money. Which one you want? That, or they start right now earning their own money inside an environment they're comfortable and where they're safe at. Which one would you choose? Which one would you choose? The second option. Maybe it doesn't seem like it's that, you know, like you want to be in that corporate world. You know what I'm saying? Maybe you want to get that 200 grand, 180 grand. You know, you want that, you want to get the house like mom, a little bigger than that. You know, you want a car like Pops, but a little better than that. Maybe Pops, you know what I'm saying? He got a Mercedes, I'm going to get me a Tesla. Something, you know, like that. Because always the next generation wants what? They want a little bit more. But it's only appetite. So the real side, if you want to balance out your prayers today, tonight, tomorrow, you really want to make Qiyamah Layl, you think the night of power is coming down on you just because you standing somewhere? Maybe you underneath that chandelier making a dua and the light come down and you think to yourself that when the light came on, whoa, this is night of power. No, just somebody just switch the lights on, homie. It's not like that. If you want a position with Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, you got to put in the work. Not here, but there. This is the gymnasium, but where did the fight really go? Where the fight go? In the gymnasium? The ones who's training in the gymnasium to run a race, do the race here, or they in the gymnasium, or the race is outside? Which one? Huh? When they build a car, the race car and all that, then they boom, boom, you know, they put it on the wheels and see all the how it's going. Is they just, do he win the race like that, or he got to go out there with other drivers? So here we in the gym. This is the spiritual gymnasium. This is the place where we fine-tune our Quran and worship and make sure you're worshiping right. Because Allah, He loved the Muslim that worship good. Allah, He like it. When you take your time and pray to Allah, when you got the chance, but don't be putting no cup of tea on. Don't be putting no some food on the stove and then you're gonna make my 2 rakats. No, you're gonna the food, the smelling, the coffee, all that stuff is gonna be messing you up. You ain't even got no. You don't even know what you do. So the Prophet said, see how wise he was. He said, if you smell the food or the food is ready, what did he say? The food got more rights. See that? Islam is so beautiful. So 2 things I mentioned here about the outside. One is about the neighbors. You heard that part? It's a no-brainer. And if you want to understand who's doing it right now, the Hindus. I got nothing against the Hindus. They're human beings. They got their temple. They got their worship. They own a lot of stuff. You just ride around. Go down the street down here. Most of the hotels, they got them, right? It's right? The Hindus, they got pharmacies, they got them. The Hindus, they all over because they smart. But they ain't doing no work in the community. You ain't never seen them giving out no water in the side of the communities and walking up and down with no turbans on, nothing. But guess who feeds more people in America as a religious group? No, sir. I appreciate that. He said the Muslims. The Hindus. Because the YMCA, Catholic Relief Services, I mean, I can give you the whole list of them. American Cancer Association, YMCA, B'nai B'rith Society, the Heart Association, the Red Cross. Just go on down, and Knights of Columbus, this one, that one, done. Church, Catholic Relief, this one, that. They got about like 35 favorites. Guess what? They're not giving out food anymore. You know what they do? They run the food bank. Do you know what a food bank is? Do you know what a food bank?
Yes.
Where's the food bank?
Food bank is a place where people can get food for free.
Not really. That's a pantry. He was close to it. That's good. Who knows where the food bank is? Who knows? See, that's our problem. Do you know? Oh, who said that? Who said they know? Huh? Right there? What's the food bank?
Food banks where people volunteer to make food together and they give it out to countries that need food and not just like in the developed areas.
Not exactly. Close. So since no one was able to define what a food bank is, I can reasonably assume that this community center does not have the doorway, the key, to the food bank. And guess what? Every region in the United States of America, every region, when I say region, I don't mean southeast, northeast, I mean in the southeast, in the northeast, up to what? There's at least in the northeast about probably 10 major food banks. In the southeast, 10, 15 food banks. When you go in the Midwest, food banks everywhere. The food bank is the one that receives the budget from the federal government that's mandated to give to people who are below the poverty line. You got that part? So how do the big companies participate, like General Mills and all those companies? When they manufacture, a part of what they manufacture, they give to the food bank to get benefits from the government, right? So the food bank is receiving warehouses of food, and it's allocated for the zip codes where the people, you understand me, are disadvantaged. Now you guys got it? Who pays for the food? The taxes, right? But did you know that if you give up some space, like half of this masjid, make it into dry storage, another part, make it into like refrigerator, freezer, you know, and meet the standards of the health department and all that there. Put in an industrial kitchen, one that you can cook, and you got the license from the fire department, the health department, you know, the industrial kitchen, right? When you get that, then you get another area like this size and just put in there chairs and tables. So now what you got? You can distribute the food in bags and boxes to people. You can store the food. You can also cook the food. You can serve the food after you cook it. So you're getting paid from the federal government to do what? Receive the food, store the food, prepare the food, serve the people, and for the jails, the hospitals, the senior citizens places, and other places where people are sick and they can't come out to eat or use their EBT card. What do you think happens then if you got that kind of operation? Now you are able to do what? Prepare meals for institutions. Can you understand what that is? If we were willing to do that work, we wouldn't have to. I say to all the people who I see them doing fundraising in Ramadan, fundraising, you understand me, on Fridays, hey, look, we can end that. All we got to do is do the work on the other side. Did you guys feel me? If we do the work on the other side, not only is it good for our akhirah, but I can guarantee you, if you do it on the other side, you will make more money. You don't even have to ask for no donations unless everybody here in the masjid just say, Uqsum billah, I'm giving $1,000 every year. That's it. Get 500 people that just say, I swear to God, I'm giving $1,000 a year. If they give it, it's good. If they don't, what? We don't matter. Why? Because we got other revenue streams. So I'm making sense and sense. You guys, you understand? Sense and sense? I'm making S-E-N-S-E, and I'm making C-E-N-T-S. It's win-win. If you take care of your community, it's a win-win. Not only will they tell each other, these Muslims is good, they nice, they care about the people, the old people, the young people, they keep their home, they masjid areas nice and clean, the homes, they bring us the food, and they pray with us. They pray with us. I did something that my Somali wife taught me. No, now y'all know I got 2 wives, I'm sorry. Anyway, I did something I see my Somali wife do. She washed her mother's feet. She's something to do that every day. Wash her feet and comb her hair. When she did that for my mother took shahada. I'm giving dawah to my mother 35 years. She praying with me, everything, but she don't take the shahada because she got an attitude with Muslims. She love Islam, but she don't like what she's seeing. But anyway, bottom line is this is where Allah did it. I left to go somewhere. I came back, and my mom was sitting in the chair with the kima on. She's trying to say the shahada. And I'm thinking to myself, how did that happen? And she told me, Khalid, Amina, I love her. She washed my feet. She put me in the jacuzzi. She did my hair, my nails, all that. I want her to stay with me all the time. So it was the kindness. You understand? It was the kindness. Not what's written. Not about the prayer and the regulation and say kalima and blah, blah, blah. No, it was the kindness. And she went to church with my mother. She went into church. sat there, and when the preacher said something good, she said, hallelujah. And when he said something different, she did like that to my mother, astaghfirullah. Mother told me. But she went to the church. She said, I never thought that any Muslim can go to the church. I said, Mother, it's the church. I mean to know that. Allah, he mentioned in the Quran, the church, don't he? What place he put the mosque? Last, right? Allah, he mentioned the people who worship him. In the house of Allah, he said church, he said churches, kanisa, then he said temples where the Jews pray at. And then after that, he said masjids, and he said temples, and other places where the name of Allah is mentioned. They all what? They all what? Sacred. They're not all correct, but they're all what? That's why Umar ibn Khattab, when he went into Jerusalem, was the first thing he did. He went to the church and prayed 2 rak'ah. They asked him, why are you praying in the church 2 rak'ah? Why you don't go to the masjid? He said, because it's my duty to make sure that the Christians understand that their churches are sacred. Look at that. So I'm doing reverse engineering here. I'm saying that I'm glad most of the people here is young, because you're going to have to do this. The outside is better for you in terms of Allah accepting than the inside. You got to do the inside anyway. But if you want to accept it, if you want to be distinct, if you want to not marinate, activate your dawah, because if your dawah not activated, it's just like a credit card. You got a credit card in the mail, but it ain't activated. You got to swipe it, right? So the way you swipe your salah, where you swipe your ibadah, is that you give in the way of Allah. What's the best way to give? Give to somebody who you know? Give to somebody that's right there, over there? Or no, give to those who you know and don't know. The Prophet ﷺ, he said a hadith, I'm giving you another one. So far I gave you like 5 ayahs of Quran. If you didn't catch it, that's your problem. You just got a problem catching things. I gave you already 4 hadiths of the Prophet ﷺ. I'm going to give you one more. If you got it, you got it. I don't care if you didn't catch the Arabic or the English or the intonation or the inflection or whatever it was that you missed, you just missed it. The Messenger of Allah ﷺ, he told us in a very clear terms, Al-mu'minu qawi khayrun wa ahabbu ila Allah min al-mu'min al-da'if. He loved us to be strong. Why? Because we can do something. Second thing, the Prophet ﷺ told us, whoever feed the people, whoever give to the people, whoever give to the neighbors. Maybe this here itself, just that act by itself. Look at the lady, she was a prostitute. You remember that? If we see a lady as a prostitute at the door, she said, can you give me some? Get out of here. We would do that like that. Just get out of here. Call the police on you. Maybe that's the same lady who climbed down inside the well. Do you remember that? Remember the lady, the cat was right there? A dog, not the cat, the dog was there panting, and she just went down inside the well, bring up some water, and give to the dog what the Prophet said about her. People are still cursing her. Get out of here. And they don't know she been what? She already been promised Jannah by the Prophet ﷺ. So stop judging and look to the outside. What's my root? What's my talk today about? Both sides. I'm reminding you about the inside, yes, but I'm reminding you there's another side. And if you don't balance this out with the other side, your mizan is messed up. The Prophet ﷺ, most of his time, his life, especially in Medina, what you think he was doing? What was he doing?
Right.
He was receiving wahi from Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. Jibreel was dictating him 34 different treaties in a period of 10 years. How many? 34 treaties. He was not writing. He was no genius, nothing about the whatever it is, but Jibreel is coming to him regularly, telling him what to say inside that treaty or whatever, and the Prophet is acting as an arbiter, because that was the job that he was given when he came to Medina, right? To do what? To be the what? The arbiter. We're supposed to be the arbiters, the go-between people, the go-to people. 2 things, the go-between people and the what?
We go to.
And the go-to people. That's what we're supposed to do. And if we do that, Allah, he will put more rizq. He will put more benefit. He will put more ajr. He put more power. He put more effectiveness. And it's possible that each one of you, just by your good conduct, maybe this year, if you get it right, one person just become Muslim in your school or across the street or something from an act that you did, not a pamphlet that you gave. And for the young people, I got a special program for you, but guess what? If I'm going to stay here and give it to you, your parents, they got to pay for my hotel at least. I got something very special for the young people who is like at least 10 years old. Something that will set them apart, distinguish them, put them on a path where they just be shine like that. But I'm not going to just be giving it, you know, something like say, oh, Sheikh, just give it to them. It's not like that, yo. No, this is an operation. This is a procedure that involves me presenting something to them in a very nice way, and then after that, they accepting, and we shake hands on it and all that there, and then they can go. But the parents, I'm not going to be staying here and paying my own hotel, flying back to New York on my own plane, and you want me to do something, give you a special gift to these young people, where 4 years from now, they don't need to go to college if they don't want to. If they're going to college because it's extra, just to please mom and dad. Okay, mom, I'm going to medical school for you. I already got money. They leading in the mosque. They're doing social, they're doing all the work. They're volunteers, they're everything. They're getting that ajr, they're getting the ajr of making some money, and they get the ajr also that they're pleasing their mom and dad. You want those kind of kids? Well, you might say, oh, Sheikh is promising too much. You know, I don't know, that's not even believable. That's because that's just the soil that you're dealing with is just too low. According to the soil, you can't plant no tree in that kind of soil, right? Huh? If the soil of your consciousness is very low, you can't really do much of anything because you already defeat yourself when the idea comes. So I'm asking Allah to accept from me what I said. And if what I said was true, Allah, He's supported. If I said something that's not good or made a mistake, forgive me. And I ask Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, just throw that away. Forgive me about that, but take the good part. Don't throw the baby out with the bathwater. You heard that before, right? So when you see something bad in a person, oh, you know that guy, I don't like the way he talked. Oh, you know something? He was driving a Mercedes. He's supposed to be a religious guy. Or whatever you see, you don't like it. Or he don't treat his wife good. Or I saw him yelling at his kids. Or I heard this or heard that. Forgive that person so that you can get the benefit from them. That's all. We ask Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala to bless the Majlis al-Shura here. Bless the administration. Bless the old people. Bless the people who made this, who spent the money to have this place. May Allah bless them for all the efforts. Bless the wives who in the back do all the suffering and all the working, and they don't even get to lead the prayer, nothing. Not that they're supposed to, I'm not saying that. I'm just, you know, they're not leading no prayers, they ain't got no positions, but they just keep on doing what they're doing, right? May Allah bless them for that. May Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, He bless all the young kids who came here and sat down as a respect. Because that's all they did. I just asked them in a nice way, and they sat down and chilled out. They didn't move, they didn't even move. And I do have something for you. Don't worry, I'm not going to show nobody. I'll see y'all after the prayer. You, all the little young people, I'll see you after the prayer, okay? May Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala bless all of us and accept our fasting and our prayers, all of our acts of ibadah. And may Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala keep us conscious about what we do inside that He know, and what we do on the outside that He know. Allah, He know. He is Sami'ul Alim. He know what we do on the inside, and He know what we do on the outside. He know what we do that is seen, and He know what we do that is unseen. And most of the rewards in this deen, it come from what is unseen. We ask Allah to accept from us. Thank our sister Dina. She arranged this just like that. We just met a couple of days ago. I wasn't intending, it wasn't part of my plan. She just did this. And to be honest with you, this is the biggest gathering that I was able to talk to since I've been here. Because this Ramadan, you know, they say, oh, the Sheikh, he coming to ask for some money. So just block me, you know what I'm saying? It's okay, but this is qadr. You know, it is qadr. I no longer be like insulted because it's qadr. You go for this thing, Allah, He blocked you for something that other people, it's their interest. It's okay. But Allah, He wants something else for you. I'm leaving tomorrow, inshallah. But see how it happened? MashaAllah. The audience I needed. Although, to be very honest with you, I know we're in the masjid and we're about to break the fast, but I got to tell you this too. I would not be, what do you call it? Fulfill my duty. To be honest with you, I came here to help the young guy and myself to collect 100,000. So I know you guys ain't got no 100,000. At least I'm not going to say you don't, but I know you didn't come prepared to do that. But I just want to say, in case there is somebody here who is like incognito, you know what I'm saying? Somebody who's like, look like they ain't got nothing, but they got it. Oh, what the Sheikh said he needed? 100,000. Or any portion of that. If somebody just want to bless us, we got Cash App, we got Zelle, we got Apple Pay, we got, what else we got?
PayPal.
Yeah, there he is. Hey, you work with me, okay, I think? So anyway, that's what we came for, to see if some way we could get the support for the program that we're doing. And I'll talk about the program another time. And if you're unable to do that, give more to the masjid where you are, but also remind them of the talk that we had today, okay? سبحانك اللهم وبحمدك ونشهد أن لا إله إلا أنت ونستغفرك ونتوب إليك والسلام عليكم ورحمة الله وبركاته.
تكبير تكبير تكبير.
Oh, you got to open it. Oh, I like this. Yeah. I think you got to open it.
No, I think open is for the.
Oh.
Here.
Give me the cash. Oh, give me the cash. Give me the cash. Give me the cash. Right here. Give me the cash. Give me the cash.
20 years ago, I was Islamic Awareness Week, and we had a video. We played this, and we had huge people show up, and alhamdulillah, and it was a brother that was So as soon as I hear it, I saw a video.
No way, he showed you too, man.
No, it was
What you said, right? Ibrahim? Yeah, Ibrahim showed everybody. Yeah. I'll get it.